Namaskar. Welcome to the ILETS webinar. We are doing dialogue with the various governance sector leaders, and we are reaching out to central government, state governments, and the district level administration, and also Jila Panchayats across the country. And we are trying to understand how are the various government departments and the various government administrative bodies are handling this massive pandemic, which has engulfed the globe and also country, our country, India. And ILETS is an organization which is 17-year-old organization, and we have been bringing out a magazine called eGov and eHealth for past 15 years. And our aim has been to look at what are the innovations happening in the governance and the health sectors. And COVID is a pandemic where it has brought the governance and the health sector together like never before. And today we are pleased to have with us Shri Arun Kumar, who is an IS officer, and he is a district magistrate and collector of Amethi in Uttar Pradesh. So, namaskar Arun ji, and thanks for joining us today.
Good evening.
Thank you. And let me briefly talk about him. That Arun Kumar is an IS officer of 2012 batch from the Uttar Pradesh cadre, and he's currently posted as a collector and district magistrate in Amethi district of Uttar Pradesh state. He has previously served as vice chairman of Moradabad Development Authority and special secretary Infrastructure and Industrial Development Authority of government of UP. And he's a BTech from IIT Kanpur. So Arunji, as we start our discussions here, welcome to this program of ILETS. Please tell us about the situation of COVID-19 in your district, Amethi.
In Amethi, as we know that COVID infection has spread to lots of people, almost all the districts of the country, and in UP, all the 75 districts are infected with this COVID-19 virus. In Amethi, till the phase 2 of the lockdown, that is till 3rd of May, we did not have any case. So we were in the green zone. But after that, in the third phase and the fourth phase, we have lots of positive cases have come. So today we have received 42 such positive cases, sample report, and each case we are basically handling very properly and as per the procedure, the medical protocol, whatever has been prescribed by the government. And out of these 42 people, 5 have recovered. So basically, we have 37 active cases who are getting the treatment at the facility, L1 facility, the COVID care facility in which this is going on. So, column basically is the number of people who are basically coming to the district, the migrant population. After the movement of the trains and buses started, and the people they started coming from the parts of the Gujarat, Maharashtra, Punjab, etc. Migrant people. So lots of people when we did the sampling. So mostly we have received the positive cases from this population. All are asymptomatic. Basically, they don't show any symptom, but they are the carrier. So and we have increased the sampling also. Earlier we were doing the sampling of 20-25 per day, but now since the capacity of the state has increased, the testing facility has increased. So now we are sending 100 to 125 samples per day. And in proportion to that, since the migrants have also come, the numbers are increasing, so we are getting more number of positive cases. Okay, and the thing is, all the districts, all the Eastern UP, neighboring districts, they are also receiving the same number of positive cases day by day. So our preparation is also basically we are preparing ourselves to tackle this problem. This is how we are managing right now.
Sure. And as you mentioned about the migrant population, which is now coming up. So how are you able to track and test them because the numbers are big. The migrants who are coming are in large numbers.
Yeah.
And also, how are you making arrangements for their quarantine and their food and shelter? So, if you can talk about these issues.
Yeah. If I just start with the numbers, before this first phase of the lockdown, before we started, was implemented in 25th of March. So we started our preparation before the 25th of March, and we were counting the numbers. So before that, around 5 to 6,000 people were entered. They entered in. After 25th of March until date, we have received uh, around 30,000 people have come, and 25,000 people have entered after the this first phase was announced by the government. So you can see 25,000 people have come, and out of the 25,000, around 6,000 people have come to the trains which is started, and around 15,000 people have come to the via bus. So this trend is basically increasing day by day. So 25,000 is a huge number, and we are actually managing these numbers. So we adopted a strategy that when a train comes and on a bus comes, or some people come to our border, how should I deal with it? So what we designed at every tehsil, we have the 4 tehsil. So at every tehsil we identified one or two big centers where the buses, the migrant people, they can come, can take rest, and there we deployed our medical team. They can do the medical screening. They can take the temperature. They can check the symptoms, whether the person has any fever or cough or cold, or whether he has a breathing problem, etc. So these things done. After that, his complete data, his history, etc., that is entered. We have the software also from the government side. We enter that data, and there is a provision of giving food and ration kit to all the people who are coming, so that no person should be go empty. So everyone should be fed well. So we have the provision for that also. So all the people who are coming here, that they are first taken to the quarantine center. Quarantine center as a taking, they are taken care of. Their medical testing, etc. Then after taking all the data, if they are symptomatic, we have the facility for them also. They are sent to the such quarantine center, which are medical quarantine center. And if they are found fit, they are asymptomatic, then they are sent to the home for the home quarantine. With the notice that they should be home quarantine, they should not move here and there. And then we start our sampling process. All the symptomatic person, they are necessarily and 100% their samples are taken for them, and those are asymptomatic. Randomly we take the sample from these people also, and we also take the sample based on the fact that from where they are coming. If they are coming from hotspot area, like from Surat, Gujarat, Ludhiana, those places where the infection is more. So we take more number of samples from there, and after that we also talk about the history of the person, like whether he
Some
then you monitor that on a daily basis. This is how this complete process is going on.
okay. And if you talk about this, that migrant workers are coming in big numbers, and I think most of them would have challenges in terms of food, access to food. So how are you like ensuring? And since you already mentioned that many are asked to be home quarantine, so their movement is also restricted. So how are you handling their food issue?
There are basically two types of charity. First one is the ration distribution through FPS shops. FPS shops say we do the distribution, and we have around 3.5 lakh active card holders. Those who are given the free ration. So that is being implemented, and every month, first 15 days, we do the distribution. So also we have done more than 95% of the distribution. That is one category that is running very efficiently without any problem. Second thing is that we have the provision of the community kitchens. Those people who are not getting ration or food through government to establish procedure, and if they are needy person, they need help. So our community kitchens were also running. So at one peak point of time, we were running more than 20 community kitchens, and more than 10,000 people were getting food through these community kitchens. So, and apart from that, these government community kitchens, we were taking help from the private sector also. Lots of NGOs and societies who are willing to offer help. We are getting help from these people also. So this is how we are taking care of the people. And apart from that, the government has introduced new also, like all the Mandega job card holders, the laborer who are registered in the labor department, people in the urban areas like Kelawala, Rediwala, those who are not covered in any scheme, and the Antyodaya, they will be given the free ration apart from the regular ration. So this is that we have also implemented, and now uh, under the Atmanirbhar Yojana that will be implemented from the next month onwards. We are identifying the people who are still not covered in any of the categories. So they will be given rice and chana dal. So apart from the regular food distribution, we are getting so much, so many. We are running so many other schemes which are taking care of the people. So as such, we have not seen any person who went hungry, who was without any food, and government was not there. So government was taking each and every person, all the migrant people, through government help or some community kitchen help or some society's help. They were getting food. This is how we were managing, and we have managed very efficiently without any single problem.
Sure. So, as we are going into this COVID situation from the lockdown stage to various stages of lockdown 1, 2, 3, 4, we have seen the easing of restrictions happening. Now, several factories have been asked to open, and several other offices are being also open, but the numbers are still increasing. So there is a balance has to be maintained between Jan and Jahan, as mentioned by the Prime Minister. So how are you ensuring that economy also starts and you are still able to contain and control the COVID spread in the district?
Yeah, we have a big industrial area in Amethi, that is in the Jagdishpur area, and more than 80 industries are running there. And some of the big industries and industrial units like HEL, SAIL, HAL, ACC Cement, Indo-Gulf Fertilizer. So these are the big units which are running. And apart from that, lots of smaller units and some export units are also there. So the first 2 phases of the lockdown, they all were shut, and no production was there. But since when government eased the restrictions, then we also took care of them, and we gave the direction. Okay, let's run with the 33% of the efficiency, so that not all the people should go there, and they should not basically violate the rule of the social distancing. So with 1/3 of the efficiency and 1/3 of the number of the people, they started their production, and that is how we are running. And now most of the industry units, they have changed their schedule also. Like they have devised their production time in the divided into 3 times. So basically, in the 3 phases, they are running the production. This is how we are maintaining the social distance. Also, we are managing the influx of the people who are working there, and social distancing also taken care of. So all the more than 80 units which are industrial units, they are running efficiently. There is as such no problem, and they have started production also. Or after that, people, the laborers who are working there, we have put some restriction also, like they should be from the nearby areas. No labor should move from the inter-district or inter-state. If it is happening, kindly bring it to our notice so that we can regulate it. And all the industries, they are following on. So as such, we have not seen any problem related to their health or some other problem. So this is really good work.
Sure. And if you can talk about the rural sector and the agriculture sector, like that sector has been termed as an essential sector, and it was anyway given a lot of freedom in the lockdown stage also. But one of the bigger problems in the agriculture sector is supply chain management. Like the farmers have to sell their produce outside the district, and they have to brings some seeds or other fertilizers from outside the district. So how is the situation on this supply chain management in the agriculture sector, if you can talk about that?
It is also primarily a rural district, you can say, because more than 90% area is that comes under the big Panchayat area. So, we should give thanks to the government that from since beginning, government has been very supportive to the farmers and to the villages who are basically the roots of the agrarian economy. Since the like this big crop has cut, since the crop cutting area, they were we eased out the restrictions. And there was we allowed people to go to the field and cut the crop. For the harvester, thresher also the restrictions were eased, and we gave the permit to the people who used to cut crop from other districts, from other states. So such regulations also came, and we issued the passes for such people who can come to the fields and do the crop cutting. And all the people who are basically involved in the agrarian sector or some or agricultural they were given a freedom to go to the fields and do their activity following the social distancing norm. So when these things came and the support came from the government and we implemented it effectively, so not find any problem and all the things were done very efficiently. So now after this crop cutting thing, right now wheat purchase activity is going on. So in district we have research centers where wheat purchase centers have been activated, and around 51,000 metric ton, that is the target of the district which we should procure, and it is also running. So as such, there is no problem in the agrarian sector, agriculture sector, because because of the government rules, regulations, which have been very supportive and pro to the farmer, and the district officers that we have. We have also given the direction to the officers, to the magistrate, to the police that people who are going to do some agriculture activity, they should not be stopped. They should not be unnecessarily cross-checked. They should be given some freedom and some kind of support from the government. So this is how this is happening, and as such, we have not seen any problem with the farmers and.
Sure. In this situation of handling this pandemic, what has been the role of IT? How do you see that?
Yeah, it has played a very big role because so many number of people are coming daily with train, bus, and everything. We used to take the data of all the people, how many people have come, what is the temperature, what is the health condition, how many people have been provided with ration kits, community kitchen, etc. So lots of data feeding is going on, and from our government side, is the Department of Revenue, who is handling work, and we have the dashboard also, rahat.gov.uk, where we do the data feeding. So IT has played a lot of role, and apart from this giving Rahat to people, we have total for the from the medical department also, and all the people who are giving samples, who are found positive, symptomatic, asymptomatic, their close contacts, primary, secondary, etc. This is also go to the system. So and it's a very good picture, good kind of summary to ourselves and to the government also. Apart from that, at this time the government introduced a control room at the Lucknow capital of where the department where they can, and they connected all the community kitchens using technology, and so that they can from Lucknow itself, from headquarters itself, they can talk to any person who is handling community kitchen in any district, in any locality of the state. This was a huge task, and so basically from state headquarters they can monitor any community kitchen, any person who is working for the welfare of the people. So this was a very very big task, and it should thanks to the UP government and the officers, all the people who are involved in it, that they have done a very very good.
Fantastic. Please mention about the government has announced that for creating employment in the districts and the rural areas, the government will focus on the MNREGA. So, what is the situation of like creating employment opportunities in your district?
Yeah, Manrega has played a very vital role in providing the employment to the people. And if I just compare the numbers, last year, if I say at this time, around 10,000 people were working on the field doing some Manrega work. This time, today itself, 53,000 people were working under the Manrega. You can see the numbers are basically increasing day by day, and 5 times of the what we are doing in the previous year, five times that we are giving employment. So and we also initiated some projects like here I identified 2100 such sites where ponds can be made so that I can start the water conservation projects. So the planning was done in the March, April itself, and in this when the restrictions were installed, we gave target to all the development blocks, and so that they can employ more and more number of laborers. And right now, more than 700 sites, the work is going on, and we have completed 25 such ponds also, and they are filled also. So this will be helpful for the coming season. Dry season is coming, and after this will come filled. Villagers will get the water, and for the animals also will get the water. And the land which was lying unutilized, and there was a fear of enforcement also at the government at that time. That will be taken care of. This is how Manrega has played a role, and the people, more than 30,000 people who have come here, they are basically getting employment. They are getting paid also. So the fear that they have lost the employment, they are coming from other part of the country. That fear somehow has been alleviated. So this has played a very major role. And apart from that, also all the people who are coming here, we are identifying the skill set of such people. Like one person could be a tailor, one person could be a painter, one person could be construction worker, large industry, etc. So we are identifying that skill set also, and we are devising a mechanism so that we can give employment to such people as per their skill set. This is how we are also working, and even days we will start that such kind of program also.
And I think the government has talked about the Atmanirbhar program, and also talked about that attracting our country and our states and our districts to be the uh, uh, next destination of industries who might be moving out from China in this situation. So, are there any initiatives to attract or attract industries in Amethi, or to uh, uh, help the existing industries in Amethi to expand and grow, so that the employment is generated in a bigger way? Yeah.
In last 2 years, UP has emerged as a destination which is investment friendly. Lots of new units have come, and the nodal agency, which is the Udyog Bhavan Lucknow, does this job of tracking the investors and making it more investor friendly. And also, state government also launched a Nivesh Mitra portal, which is basically giving clearance to the industries in a time-bound manner and without any problem. This is how we are managing ourselves. Now, after this lockdown period, which is currently going on, we have seen such people who wants to invest in UP now, and we are it's application also. And the state government has also issued direction to the district magistrates and to the other officers. If any new proposal comes or any industry which is going to expand its activity, and so kindly facilitate there. Whatever help is needed from the district side, we are ready to provide, and if there is a column that should be taken on a priority basis. So we have received the instruction and we are working on it. And in Amethi, we have the industrial area also of the system, which actually provides the land to the new industry. So, any new proposal which comes to the district, the property, and we take care of it. So we are ready to, if any new people come in the future, we are ready to take care also. And any investor having any kind of problem, we have the separate cell also, we have the separate officers also, we have the regular meeting within the month also. So just and continuous interaction, we try to solve the problem, and we make an investor friendly environment.
requesting you to speak a bit more near the computer, so
Yeah.
that yeah, voice is getting interrupted. Please talk about the healthcare infrastructure in the district. If the numbers increase, the does your district have enough hospital beds and PP kits to handle the situation?
Yeah. Since beginning, the focus of the government was to prepare ourselves for any kind of increased number of people who be infected with the virus. So day by day, we are increasing our capacity. We have 30 CSCs who are having 30 beds. So two CSCs we have designated as L1 facility, and those who are basically for the symptomatic positive patients. Apart from that, those people who are asymptomatic but they are still found positive, we have sorted out some facilities. We have one facility at the Jila अस्पताल district hospital, which is currently running at 200 bed capacity. Apart from that, we have one veteran hospital. There also we have basically uh, we have managed to 200 beds. So 200 plus 200, 400 beds we can actually right now deliver. Plus 30 beds at the L1 facility. But after that, we have the Sainik School also, which is a new construction, and we are in the phase of uh, making it making a 500 beds more capacity at the Sainik School. So that could be the we can plan in the future. So that 500 plus 400, this much of capacity we can I can deliver in within my district. And therefore, that is the L1 facility where asymptomatic people, those who are from Boston, they will be sent. And any person who is having some kind of severe problem, like some breathing problem, so they will be sent to the L2 facility, which is the one notch higher up than the L1. We have identified a facility here also, which is 100 bed. There we have two ventilators also. Any person who is having more severe symptoms will be sent to that facility. And if suppose these facilities are filled up and we need more capacity, then we have the division level setup also. At division level, the hospitals are identified, then they will be sent there. This is how this whole chain is working. At local level, we have all kinds of necessary items like PPE kit. We have two portable ventilators also. The VPE or infrared thermometer or pulse oximeter, such kind of things which are essential for to tackle this virus. So these essential items also we have procured in sufficient quantity. So as such, we are totally prepared to face any kinds of eventuality.
And how are you using the existing facilities of the private hospitals or private nursing homes in this situation?
Yeah, one facility which I talked about the L2, that is basically a private facility.
Okay.
Government has notified it as a L2 hospital, and we will use it when it is required. And it is working on the Ayushman Bharat Yojana, so the rates will be given by that system, and it will be reimbursed by the government. So we are also in talk with the private hospital. Apart from that, we identified uh, such hospitals which can do the telemedicine also, teleconsulting. So any person can talk to the concerned doctor over phone, and if he is something about his problem, then he will be given a proper consultancy, proper advice. So that network is also working, and we have government doctors also, private doctors also who are doing this. So we are in close coordination with the private hospitals also who are providing help. And in private hospitals, emergency services are also working. We are taking care of the infection protocol because some cases have reported in other districts that because of the lackness from the doctor side, the infection transmitted from doctors to the patients and then to the sick. So the training, the infection protocol training that also being imparted to the private sector doctors, and under that protocol they are delivering things. This is how.
Sure. There are few questions on your screen. If you can look at it and uh, see.
So I can see one question which is about the issue of laborers who are returning to UP from various part of the country. how are we managing this issue at the district? So I already talked about that. We have received around 30,000 of people, 25,000 after 25th of March, and every such laborer, they are basically given they are first taken to the transit at SC, and then they are given ration kits, they are medically examined, and we have the data also. And those who are symptomatic or coming from the red hotspot area, we take the sample also. And after that, when they go to the villages, they are home quarantined. We have the Nigali committee also, who are formed at the village level. The members from the Pradhan, secretary, some village level worker, or from the village also. They are part of that committee, and who does the regular checking or day-to-day checking of these people who are home quarantined. And we take the from district level, from block level, and tehsil level, we monitor such committee. So this is how we are monitoring all the users who are coming.
There is a political question which we you
I
may
prefer that we should focus more
yeah
on the
yes yes
and
ignore
rather
that,
than
yeah.
going to the political.
Let's move to the next one.
How are the economic activities in Europe? So I told you about economic activity. All have been opened with the terms of the social distancing. Less number of people, but we are trying to increase the efficiency. And our industry officers, we are in regular touch with them. So activities are open, and the production has also started. As such, the column. Then yes, what is the strategy to handle fake news or misinformation on social media? So that is a very important question, because lots of people, because of some maybe sometimes lack of the information, sometimes they are politically motivated or some otherwise motivated. They spread some kind of fake news. Like in past, some messages were running on the WhatsApp that one person has found positive, one person are positive. So such kind of messages they create a panic among the people and unnecessary, and it might turn into the non problem also. So such people we launched the FIR. People were FIR was launched and were continuously launched. And we have the social media cell also, the police department also, and we also basically uh, check regularly. And if anything, any such information, whoever tries to spread misinformation, handle it, and we take a very hard step against. Again, the question is the migrant laborers. Cities, I told you, health services, we fight a surge in that region. I also talked about this
yes
health department.
yes I think you have addressed almost all the questions here. Uh, I want to ask you that what is the new normal? Like, what is the way forward in next 3 months, 6 months? Like our way of going to office, our way of going to our factories, or going to schools or to colleges, yeah, or going in the going for tourism. How you are seeing that change in the next 3 to 6 months?
We all can see that the world has changed. The kind of environment we were living, the kind of things people we were doing freely without any restrictions. Now all the things have changed. So my personal opinion is, and what I am seeing is that we have to change our strategy, our lifestyle, our work culture, considering the kind of this panic this disease has brought in. So we have to change ourselves. Like we have to use masks, we have to maintain social distancing, we have to restrict ourselves. The obviously the freedom will also be restricted. The number of flights, the number of travel. These all things will change. But for sustaining life, we also the economic activities, and they should not be stopped. But somehow we have to change ourselves, and we have to achieve ourselves considering this problem which is there. And the thing is, still there is no vaccine of this virus, so it will take some time to control it. And 1 month more, we will see more number of people who are getting infected. After that, we can see, okay, now we have reached to a situation level, and after that, we can. But we have to change our lifestyle. We have to follow the norms, norms, do more to hygienic activities, do such things. So this is how we should change ourselves, and only then we can tackle this problem, and we can go to our work, and we can start our activity.
Sure. So I think we are right now going through a historical time in which the whole lifestyle of each of us is changing. It has already changed, and perhaps this will change a bit more, and we have to get accustomed to it. And very happy to see that the district of Amethi is taking so many steps for control of the COVID-19 situation, and also taking care of the health of the people, of the especially of the migrant workers who are returning home. And also you are looking at their livelihood issues, their access to food issues, and like trying to maintain the balance between the Jan or Jahan. And Arunji, Illets in these challenging times is connecting to the various officials across the country at all levels, village level to panchayat level to Jila level to district level to state level to central level, and we are trying to understand and create awareness that how each department and each level of the government, each district is trying to work in these challenging times. I think you are mentioning. Please also talk about your staff, like how hard has been the last 2 months. Yeah, if you can talk about that, that's very
Sure,
important part.
all the people, all the staff, especially the clerical staff, they are continuously working 24/7 for the last 2.5 months. We are because lots of people were coming in the night time, lots of trains they are coming night time, and we have to manage that instead of the people. All the departments continuously they are working, and still because problem problem is coming, and it is not getting diluted. So we have to be prepared. We can't take risk. We can't let any one single person to enter in a way who could be could be infected. So we have to be alert, and this is a single motivation which I can give. And apart from that, we are also taking care of our people. Those people, I see any problem, health-related problem, we take care of it. And the samples of such people also, and we try to provide whatever need we ask for. So, but still, people are working tirelessly, continuously, last half month, and that's how it is.
Great, great. So hats off to you and all your team in Amethi who is working day and night. And you were just mentioning to me that that last 3 months almost, your team has never taken a holiday yet.
Not a single holiday.
And I think like you are working late hours daily, as far as I understand.
It's a norm.
Till what time? Like you are in the office daily?
1 or 2 a.m. 1 or 2 a.m.
1 or 2 a.m.
We are on. I am on my table doing some work.
Amazing, amazing,
It's a
amazing.
huge task because we have not seen it. I mean, we don't have any prior data or prior, rules and regulations which can handle it. Everything new things are coming daily. If you see the research work also, every day in the newspaper we read some new articles, lots of things, lots of new hypotheses. So government is also working in that direction. Whatever problem we are facing, we try to solve that problem. So there is no standard procedure as such. We are in that mode of devising some standard. So that is why we are taking more time, but we are taking care of each and everything. Yeah. We should always, from the government side, that in spite of having so many restrictions, so many problems, so much number of the people, government has delivered its best, and without having any such a big issue, without creating any big problem, big issue. So, and not in only in district, the district government in complete DP. And the numbers also see because of this lockdown, the strict enforcement of lockdown, we have restricted our numbers to a basic minimum. It's not been a such but could have more numbers as we see from other countries also. We should thanks to the government, state government and the central government that from time to time they measures, they send the necessary direction and the kind of mechanism, the review mechanism they devise, which happened, so this help in the controlling this situation.
Sure. Arunji, this initiative of ILETS connecting to all the officers, the initiative we are taking, your message to team ILETS on our work, and you have any suggestions and inputs for us?
Yeah, ILETS is doing a wonderful job and taking feedback from the districts directly and the points is helping in disseminating information and sending the right information to the n number of the people. So it's the need of the hour because lots of the people go because they are sitting inside their home and they don't have that kind of connectivity and interaction with the people and the government officials. So in that way, in this way, ILETS is doing a great job because directly person from the district, the methodology, the mechanism, the initiatives which are adopted, the information is going to the public at large. So in that way, it is making helpful that they are getting the information, they are getting the right messages, right kind of strategy, and our views also that how we are dealing with. So, my best wishes to all the team members of the ILETS, and I hope that so action, webinars on, and we will all be working for the welfare of the people.
Thank you, Arunji, and I thank all the audience who are watching us live. And I will request all the audience that if you have liked this interaction, and if you think that the information shared in this interaction is can be useful to some other people, citizens, please like and share this video on Facebook and YouTube so that it reaches to a lot more people. And this video is available on the ILETS channel of on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. So with the and I would also inform you that we are holding one webinar daily with one of the officials across the country, and it will be a good idea that if you are interested in the COVID-19 situation, please log on to our social media, and you can watch our past webinars and future webinars daily. So with this, we'll thank you अरुण जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आने के लिए यहाँ पर, और thank you all the audience for joining us. Namaskar. Thank you so much. Thank you.